really feel compelled to pause for a moment and share a great loss to the Jewish people in this time where we're facing so many losses, but this one is a little bit different. This past Shabbat morning, one of our great rabbis, Rabbi Berel Wein, passed away. I don't know how many of you have been privileged to meet him or learn from him, but I want to honor him this evening by playing a short clip from our TV program, Tuesday Night Live in Jerusalem, where Rabbi Wein joined us. But before we do, I'd like to share a testimony that deeply moved me. I first heard the news from Rabbi Johnny Solomon, who himself shared a remarkable story about Rabbi Wein, recorded by Rabbi Pesach Krohn in his book, Illumination of the Maggid. And Rabbi Krohn recounted the conclusion of an interview he once conducted with Rabbi Wein. And at the end, he asked him a striking question. He said, Rabbi Wein, in 40 years, you have single-handedly produced more material than some large companies have. How do you do it? Don't you ever get tired? Don't you ever stop? And at that moment, he said, Rabbi Wein's expression turned serious. And then he shared an astounding story. He said, this is what Rabbi Wein said. He said, I was raised in Chicago. I am a ben yachid, an only child. And one day in 1946, I was 11 years old, and my father said, Berel, we're going to the airport. I asked why. He told me that a great tzaddik was coming to town, and that all the rabbis were going to greet him and escort him to the shul, to the synagogue where he would speak. And I asked who the tzaddik was, and he told me that it was Rabbi Isaac Halevi Herzog, the chief rabbi of Eretz Yisrael. So I went with my father. And in the shul, not only were the rabbanim present, but all the yeshiva bachurim, the students of the yeshiva, were there as well. And at that time, there were about 200 boys from elementary school to the Masifta of Skokie. Many Baalei Batim were there too, fathers of homes. Rabbi Herzog gave a shiur, he gave a class, and when it was over, he said, and now I want to talk to all of you, especially the bachurim, the young students. I just returned from Rome where I visited the Pope, Pope Pius. I had with me the names of 10,000 Jewish boys and girls, many whose parents had placed them in Catholic families and institutions to save them from the Nazis. And I said to him, and he said to the Pope, give me back these children. These are our children and you know it. I have the names of 10,000 Jewish boys and girls. Many of them were kidnapped by your people. And in truth, many of our people gave you their children because they didn't think any of them would survive the war otherwise. But you have them now, and we want them back. They are our Jewish children. And the Pope said, I can't give you even one child. I pleaded with him, but he said, we have a rule that if a child is baptized, we can never return him to another religion. And all these children were baptized. I pleaded with him to return them, Rabbi Herzog said, but he refused. The Pope refused. And then suddenly, Rabbi Herzog started to cry. He put down his head on the podium and wept. I was never so frightened in my life, Rabbi Wein said. Everyone in the shul was silent, listening to him cry. When he raised his head again, his face was red and he looked like a lion. He called out to us. He said, I cannot do anything for those 10,000 children, but what are you going to do for the children of Klal Yisrael, of the Jewish people? You have the responsibility to help raise the future children of Klal Yisrael. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to remember that? Are you going to forget what I said? He repeated himself with emphasis, Rabbi Wein said. What are you doing? What are you going to do for the children of Klal Yisrael? Are you going to remember that? Don't ever forget what I said. Rabbi Herzog stopped. Then all the boys got up and marched forward to shake his hand. When he took my hand, he looked me straight in the eye, Rabbi Wein said. And he asked, are you going to forget what I said? Will you remember what I said? What are you going to do for the children of Klal Yisrael, for the children of the Jewish people? Rabbi Wein paused for a moment. Then he said, every time I'm tired and every time I want to put my pen down, I'm haunted by those words. What are you going to do for the children of Klal Yisrael? Okay, so that's the story. And with that story as the backdrop, I want to play a short clip from our show, Tuesday Night Live in Jerusalem, featuring a very young, baby-faced Jeremy and Ari, sitting with Rabbi Wein as he shared just a little bit of his timeless wisdom. After the fellowship, Tabitha will send out the full interview in the follow-up email so everyone can watch it in its entirety. But just let me tell you, he's the founder and director of the Destiny Foundation. They have audio tapes, books, seminars, tours, and some incredible documentaries that really reveal some of the secrets that have kept the Jewish people alive for 4,000 years. So please join me in welcoming Rabbi Berel Wein.
You're a historian and a rabbi. And we've had historians on before, we've had rabbis on before, but we have not yet had a rabbi that is also a historian. So here's the first question. At the end of the book of Devarim, as the Torah is coming to a close, Hashem commands the Jewish people, Zechor Yemot Olam, Binu Shnot Dor Vador, remember the days of old, understand the occurrences of generation to generation. Why would God command us to learn our own history?
Well, there are a few reasons. One reason is that King Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. The truth of the matter is that every problem that we face today has been faced before. Whether that's comforting to us or not, I don't know, but at least the fact that we know that it has happened before should give us some strength, because obviously we've survived those problems. And the second reason is that you need a backdrop. I always feel that history is our rear view mirror, right? If you drive in traffic and you never look in the rear view mirror, you just pull out. So you're blindsided by a lot of things that happen, especially by the car that you didn't see. But if you're looking in the rear view mirror, if you have an idea of where you come from, how you got here, why we're here, etc., you can navigate it much more safely. The Torah wants the Jewish people to realize that this is a story that's 3,700 years old. It didn't begin now. And it's not dependent upon people or movements so much as it's dependent upon the flow of history. And we're part of that flow. And if you see it that way, so then I think you're in a much better position to handle the problems.
Anyways, he really was truly a very special man. Rabbi Wein played a unique role in our generation. He bridged the gap between the past and the present, and connecting us with our history in a way that really few others could. And in doing so, he helped us fulfill the command of the Torah in Devarim, which calls upon us to remember the days of old, understand the years of many generations. Ask your father and he will tell you, your elders, and they will explain it to you. He was an elder. Rabbi Wein embodied that verse. He transformed our history from something to be merely studied into something that we were able to feel and embrace and carry forward, so that we and our children after us would always know who we are. And the Torah again and again, it commands us, remember, do not forget, teach. We're called to pass on these pivotal moments of our story, the Exodus, Sinai, Amalek, as the very essence of our covenantal identity. It's not just history, it's an ongoing mitzvah. And Jewish survival depends on our historic memory. And perhaps what stood out the most about Rabbi Wein, to all those who had the privilege of learning from him or even meeting him, was his great and abiding love for the Jewish people, which is a big part of our theme for this fellowship. And so it's really fitting that we memorialize him and remember him in this fellowship. So may his memory be a blessing.